I have got a great interview with Bailey Moore. We just finished eating some pork chops, and this pork chop just tried to eat me. Anyway, we're out here on my farm and CJW Pino Ranch where these pigs are raised. You're going to hear more about them later. But Bailey is an auctioneer. He is part of the Joplin Stockyard family. He's a pilot. He's a athletic football player. He's a rodeo hero and tells great stories. You're really going to enjoy this episode. I thank you very much for watching. We're going to call this one just one more for the road, and we're cleared for takeoff. Well, Bailey,
Yes.
thank you so much.
Yes. Great to be here,
This
Chris.
has been hard. So you guys are noticing you probably looks a lot like George Strait, and it was as hard to get you here as George Strait.
Oh.
So everybody, I'm here with Bailey Moore. He is from the Joplin Stockyards family and royalty, I guess. So thank you so much for sitting down with me.
Yes.
You, a young man, but got a lot of story.
Yeah. There's I've lived a lot of life for 44 years.
Yes, yeah. So you were going to be going to the NFR in calf roping.
Okay.
So tell me about that.
Oh, so back when I was young, and really kind of my story starts even in beginning of high school, I played football, we roped calves. I never really started roping until I was 11 or 12, and we started team roping.
Did your dad rope?
Yeah, he roped. We really didn't start roping. Really, this is kind of how we started roping. One day my dad roped a little bit and stuff, but we decided we're going to start team roping. So one day I get home, we build an arena. My dad buys 100 head of Mexican steers at the sale barn. They bring them in there. My dad would go to the horse sales on Wednesday night at the sale barn.
There used to be a lot of horse sales around here.
Yes, a lot of them. And we might buy just a gooseneck, a 24-foot load of horses. And the horse show used to be a lot of times it'd be on Thursdays and Fridays. And so we would bring all these horses home and we would just rope on them on Thursday nights. And the ones that we thought we could get away with, we would keep. The other ones we'd take back to the sales on Friday and get rid of them again.
That era, so this was early 90s.
Yep.
So we opened the school in 95, and in 99, I started buying loads of horses too.
Yeah.
And we would shoe them with a school, and then we'd sell them the next week because there was Rich Hill, there was Robbins, there was Diamond. I mean,
Yep.
you go anywhere and find a horse there.
Oh, yeah.
And you'd always make $50 more. So we never lost money on them, and we ended up with some good horses out of it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and that's what we do. And when we first started roping, it was kamikaze. None of us knew how to rope. None of us did anything. And we would just, and they weren't even Mexican steers. They were Longhorn steers. And we would just, it was kamikaze. If you accidentally, we would just go 100 miles an hour. Headers, you just rope them, head left. And you know what I mean? If the heelers ever did catch one, I don't know how you kept your hand because you're going to cut it off. We didn't have any idea.
No coaching.
No coaching. We just went at it full bore. That's just kind of how we do things. You know what I mean? As my family, my dad, whenever we decide we're going to do something, we just go at it, just 150 miles an hour.
I have a son like that.
Yes, absolutely, you do. That's the way he is. And so, as it went on through there, I started roping calves and I don't know, probably, and really, we just kind of worked through it and started roping at a young age, and then about probably when I was 15, I'm trying to think the exact time date. Anyways, Tom Ferguson. 6-time all-around champion. Anyway, so he lived at Miami at the time.
Is he also the one that has the Christian CD and all that, or I think at Copeland?
No.
I think at Copeland.
Yeah, there's a Copeland.
All right.
Tom wouldn't have that. Tom would be the first thing from that.
Okay.
And so, and his dad, Ira, worked for us at the sale barn, at the old sale barn when we had it in downtown Joplin. So that's kind of where we got tied in with Tom. Well, Tom, he started coming to my house every day and helping me rope. And through that and through a lot of work and a lot of time and a lot of stuff like that, every night we'd work at it. Rain or snow or sleet or hail, it didn't matter. I roped 100 calves a day. We would rope 100 off horses and I would flank and tie 100 from the ground. And it didn't matter if it was snowing, raining, that's what we did every day.
Well, that's how you get great, isn't it?
Yeah, that's how you get great at something. But it was all, and besides that, and then I'm playing football too. You know what I mean?
What was your position?
Tailback.
Tailback.
Yeah.
All right.
So I was an all-state running back too from Mount Vernon.
Nice.
Held all the records up until game season, all that until last year. A kid finally broke my records, but I still hold a single game and maybe I think he might have. I don't know if he beat my career. He beat one of them, but
That's awesome. I didn't know that about you.
yeah, like to play football too, and this kind of everything we did. That's just we just worked at it and went at it.
Now, were you guys going to high school rodeos as well?
Yes.
Okay.
And we were going, went to junior rodeos, the AYs, the MJs, did all that. And then started going to all the high school rodeos. And like, honestly, for a high school career, like, it was amazing, like, for the rodeo deal. Like, I mean, like Shawnee, I won that. 99, I won the National High School Calf Roping Championship. Like,
No kidding.
yeah, so
That's
like
awesome.
all the, I mean, for a youth, like, for my youth, like, probably one of the best, like, youth rodeo careers you'd have. Won everything. You know what I mean? Like, won all around in Missouri high school. And then we'd go to Oklahoma and rope and Texas and, like, we just,
So if you won the all around, you were doing other events too. What were your other events?
oh, yeah, I team rope, bulldog, rope calves. I did all those. I also, in high school, I was in the cutting too. So,
Okay, all right.
so there was these boys from over there, and they're from Elsnore, Missouri, and their name were Carters. And they always did the rough stock. They always rode barebacks, saddle broncs, and rode bulls. But it was always like me or them who was going to win the all round, like back and forth. Well, they started entering the bulldogging, and it kind of made me mad. So the first high school rodeo back, it was at Royalty Arena at Carthage. That next year, when I called in, I said, just put me in every event. So with that one rodeo, that one weekend, I entered the bareback riding, the saddle bronc riding, the bull riding, the bulldog, and the calf roping, and the team rope. And I entered in every event.
Did you stay on your broncs and your bull?
Actually, I did. So I did in the bareback riding. I placed both times in it. And then I was 95 points in the bull riding and rode a bull they'd never rode.
95?
Yes.
Well, why didn't you stay with that?
I would have won a bull rider. I didn't really like, and it was a lot. I kept one pair of boots at one end of the arena and another pair at the other end.
Yeah.
So I just going
Yeah.
back and forth, and it
It
was
give you a big head start on the all around.
yeah. So anyways, I told them, I said, if you're going to enter my events, I'll start entering yours. So anyways, they went back to they just stayed in the rep stock, and I stayed to the timed events. So
Man, so you must have been an athletic kid, huh?
yeah, I was blessed with that. Yeah, I mean, I really was. God blessed me with a lot of things, and that's one thing He blessed me with. I was an athlete.
And calf roping is athletic,
Yes.
as athletic a rodeo sport as you can have.
Yes, absolutely. And that's just what I really love to do. I like to team rope some, but I always said I'd team rope when I got older, when I was too old to do anything else, and I could start team roping because that's when you team rope. So really just kind of focused on the calf roping event. And, after moving forward, after my high school career, after I won the high school finals, and it was at Gillette, I always knew I wanted to go pro and rope calves. And, so that next year, my rookie year, Strand Smith called me and he said, if you're going to start wanting to go rope, I'd like for you to come and go with me. So that year, me, Strand, Trevor, I went.
Did Strand ever win?
Yeah, Strand won the world in
So he did win. Okay.
yeah, he won the world, but it was later. It might have been and I'd be lying to you right now if I said something, maybe 2008, 2009, somewhere in there, he won the world. But, and then so that year, that's when I went, started rodeoing to Trevor Brazil and Strand, Tommy Guy, there was a bunch of us. But all the way through my high school career, honestly, my best friends were Clint Cooper, Houston Hutto, Cimarron Boardman, like that class of guys. That's kind of who I rodeoed with, you know what I mean? And we were all young and we were all wild and we could all rope.
And did you go to college?
So I did. So no, yes and no. So Murray stayed at Tishomingo. He kept calling me. He was like, I want you to come down here and rodeo
Yeah,
for
they
me.
have a big rodeo program.
Yeah, and then Jerome Schneenberger had went to college there and roped calves, and it was kind of a calf roping deal. Matt Yoakum and me, we were the same age, and that's where we were going to go. But he kept calling me and wanting me to come down there and to rodeo, and I didn't want to go to college. I knew I didn't want to go to college. It wasn't for me. If I couldn't have played football, and if I wasn't pretty good at bull crapping and being able to kind of manipulate my teachers in high school, I never would have graduated high school. So I knew I probably wasn't going to graduate college. But so he just kept after me, and I told him, I said, okay, here's the one thing, I'll come down there and I'll rodeo for you. But the thing is, all my money, because my junior year too at the National High School Finals, I won 4th. So I had all that money from my scholarship money. Yes.
You had a war chest.
Yes, and I had all that stuff, but I had all this money, but it was all in scholarships that I had won at the high school finals.
Okay.
And I told him, I said, here's the deal. I'll come, I'm not going to promise you I'll stay, but if you'll give me the money that you get from the high school association, and I can't even remember the amount now, maybe it was 12,000 or 8,000 or something. I can't remember. I'd go, but if you'll get that money from them and then you'll give me the money, I'll come try it. And
I wonder what the NCAA would have thought of that.
The rodeo, back then
Rodeo's
it was
a little
Yeah,
different.
it was a little bit different. And so anyway, so we pack everything up, and and I go down there, and I was going to the rodeo practices, but I never enrolled in school. So I was down there for like maybe a month, but I never went to one class.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you didn't get to go to college rodeos?
No, I didn't make any college rodeos.
But
I was
you were-
practicing. Actual rodeo coach called my dad and was like, Bailey comes to all the practices, but he's never enrolled in school. It was kind of funny, and I knew I really didn't want to go. So,
And were you going to pro rodeos at the time?
yeah, that was my. So it's a funny story. So that year would have been in July or something, right after I graduated high school. I won the high school finals. Me and the first couple rodeos I was going to, just some of the Prairie Circuit rodeos, was me and Jerome Steenberger. So we entered Coffeyville, which was the very first pro rodeo that I had ever entered. You know what I mean? I got my permit, entered Coffeyville, first rodeo I ever went to, and it was a 2-header. And anyway, so I go over there and I win the first round. I won the first round at Coffeyville, very first rodeo I ever entered. So I filled my permit
Wow.
because I really wasn't going to go ahead.
Was it $1,500 at the time?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it was $1,500. I won the first round, won like $1,600.
Nice.
Filled my permit. Very first rodeo I went to.
As
And-
everybody does.
Yeah, as everybody does. I don't know if it was a blessing or a curse, but yes, just the way God all played it out for me.
Where do we go from there?
Back then, and I hate to say like everybody, but like drugs on the rodeo circuit, they were more kind of widespread. A lot of people did them, and really you didn't, like, we weren't doing drugs to get high. Like, we were doing drugs to stay awake and to get down the road and get to the next rodeo. Like, we weren't using them for like fun. We were using them, we had,
You had a purpose.
yeah, I mean, we in our minds, that's what we were using it for. I mean,
Sure.
I'm sure we were getting some other stuff out of it too, but like,
But
honestly,
it wasn't, and by drugs, you're not talking about cocaine and
we're talking about meth,
just meth.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, they called it crank back
Was
then.
it Adderall?
No,
No, this was illegal
Adderall.
meth.
Yeah, this was. I mean, pure, like, we called it all crank. You know what I mean? We didn't call
Okay.
it meth back then. Really called it kind of crank, and we were just. That's what we were doing to get down the road, to stay awake, to be able to be alert when we got to the next rodeo. We'd drive all night, and it just
Do you know the history of that, like World War II and the Nazis and stuff?
a little bit of it.
Yeah, they would get those. They had, and depending on what your unit was, like if you were a tank man, you had to have more meth because you had to stay awake longer and go further. So they got extra doses.
Right.
But like most of the German army was staying awake and trying to stay alert, like you were.
Right. I mean, and then and that road, like, at the time, like, you never think like where it's going to take you or how bad it's going to make your life, or like, you know what I mean? Like, we were just going and doing and like trying to stay awake and trying to win, and like it was almost, I mean, it just kind of became part of us. You know what I
And
mean?
you're 18.
And we're 18 years old.
After your first dose, were you like, wow, this is amazing?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, so after the first time, it was just like, wow, I'm not sleepy at all. Like, you know what I mean? We drove all night to get to rodeo somewhere, and then you get there and you're like scared you're going around a highway. You know what I mean? You just want to keep driving. Like, you're just like, and it really fed with us because we were all like goers anyways. You know what I mean? Like, we wanted to do more and get more done and go to more rodeos and win more money.
Yeah,
and
you're
like,
already 100 mile an hour.
yeah,
It
we were
just
100 mile an hour
amped it.
anyways. And then it just helped us because honestly, I never drank. Like, I we might drink a little bit, but I didn't like to drink. You know what I mean? I never smoked weed. Like, I never did any of that stuff. I mean, we might do a little bit, but I never really, I didn't enjoy that. But like, we got so focused, I think, on rodeoing and getting better and doing better and going more places, and like it just amplified it. Like, it kind of went good together. You know what I mean? Looking back on it. But, and that road, like, it led me to a lot of places, you know what I mean? Like, later on, and it led a lot of my friends a lot of places, some of them never came back from it, and it turned into a real, real fight in my life, for a lot of years is where it led me. There was nothing good about it, but like, it really caused me a lot of grief and a lot of heartache. And
Now,
a lot
were
of
you
people
were
with
you
me.
seeing Tia at the time?
No, so I wasn't. So actually, I got married. So I got my one daughter, Kaya. She's 22 now. I got married to her mom. We were married for 2 years. Like,
During that time.
during a little bit of that time. A little bit coming, yeah, after that. Yeah, it was really during that time. Yeah, during that time, I was married to Kaya's mom. Didn't last long, kind of blew up. Best thing I got out of it was my daughter, Kaya. And then, I went on for several years. And actually, I never met Tia, which we'll get to that here in a little bit. But the next 5 or 6 years or 7 years of my life, from really the time that, I was 21 or 22 till really the time I was 25 or 26, it was a big struggle in my life.
So were you rodeoing from 18 till 26?
Not really.
Okay.
Really. So 18, really, and I rodeoed a little bit, but really, I really got burnt out my first year going to all them rodeos, and drugs kind of.
And you were winning, right?
Yeah, I was winning.
Were you in the top 15?
No, not then I wasn't.
Okay.
But I mean, I would have been up there. Like I was winning, and I mean, I don't even know where I was at in the standings. But I'd won a lot of money, and winning wasn't ever a problem, but it's just kind of like I knew I needed to, like, just for 6 months or a year, you know what I mean, of doing that. Like my life just really, like the drugs really took a hold, you know what I mean? And like, it just kind of blew up. Like, you know what I mean? I
So
pressured myself so much.
Did the drugs become more important than rodeo to you?
I'm not going to say that they became more important than rodeo to me. I'm saying I couldn't keep all the pieces together while I
Okay.
was on drugs.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, and so my life just kind of came unraveled right through that time period, and I mean, God just kind of, like the whole time through it, I kept, me and God were good. And like, but it really became a struggle in my life.
So were you raised a Christian?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Okay, so you've been a Christian throughout. Okay.
Throughout.
All right. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
The down didn't lead you to Christ. You were.
Yeah.
He was just with you.
I mean, he was with me. Like I always knew he was there, you know what I mean? And I always knew, and maybe I leaned on him some different ways than I should have, but I mean, I'd pray like, Lord, I prayed to him every night, like, but it became a real struggle in my life through that time period, and it took, and I'm not going to say I didn't get, I mean, and it kept being a big struggle for me.
So did you get sober at 25?
No.
Oh.
I really didn't. Like it kept, I mean, it was a thorn in my side for a lot of years. You know what I mean?
And how did you get sober?
Just by the grace of God. I mean, honestly, this is how my story really, this is when I really started to get sober. Like Doc Haskins, which was one of my very best friends, grew up.
A veterinarian.
Yes,
in
veterinarian from
Carthage area that's passed away.
Yeah, he's gone now. But one night, this is honestly, so my brother, he would have got married in, I'm trying to think about this. This would have been like 2000, maybe 2008. Yeah, 2008's when my brother, he got married on November, it was in November on 2008. And so we get home from the airport, and honestly, so my brother, he went on his honeymoon, and when I came back, I got pulled over for drugs and I went to jail. It was all the same night.
Oh my.
So,
Wow.
yeah. And so so anyways, from that point's like really when my life started to turn. You know what I mean? Like really started to get a grip on things. And I'm not going to say that I didn't use every day up to that point, but I used a lot, And at that point, my life really started to turn.
Now, were you auctioneering for a living at this time, or what were you doing for a living?
Off and on. I was honestly, through some of this time, I was working for Blevins Asphalt. I was for my grandpa owned an asphalt company, and I was laying asphalt or doing this, or like me and my grandpa, we'd partnered on a farm and we were trading a few cattle. Like I just kind of this and that and everything. Like me and Dad got into it there, for a while, which I understand why now, looking back. And so I just did my thing, and and he just kept doing his thing. But like, so then at that point, that's when all kind of changed. So then after I went to jail, and this had been 2008, then Doc, one day, and I don't know, it wouldn't have been, but probably a week or two later, Doc calls me, and Doc always liked to drink beer. Like Doc always drank beer, and that's what Doc did. And I was sitting at home one night, and Doc called me, and he said, Bailey, I've been thinking a lot about all this. And he said, I really want you to come live with me. And I said, Doc, like, you don't want me to come with you, live with you. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a mess. Like, you know what I mean? My life's a mess. Like, you don't want me down there. Like, drugs and what I got going on in my life. And like, you don't want me to come live with you. And he goes, yeah, I do. And I said, what, Doc, why? And he said, well, I've been thinking a lot about it, Bailey. And this is just Doc, typical Doc. He said, I think we're going to be good for each other. He said, one way about it, he said, you come down here and live with me. He said, and we'll start doing a lot of stuff together. And he said, when it's all said and done, he said, either you're going to be an alcoholic, or he said, I'm going to be a drug addict. But he said, at the end of it, no matter what, he said, we're going to have each other because I ain't going anywhere. And I said, well, good enough,
Okay.
So I just kind of packed my stuff up, went and moved in with Doc and Jane. And that's, that's the beginning of the story, really from when my life really started to change and when my life really started to get good was at that point.
Are you tired of the questionable pork from the grocery store? Hi, my name is Jacqueline, one of your personal ranchers here at CJW Peter. We raise pigs the way they should be raised, out in nature where they have fresh air and sunshine. They also are free of hormones and vaccines and antibiotics. They are naturally healthy, so you can be naturally healthy. You can sit down to dinner with complete peace of mind that what you are feeding your family will not only taste amazing, but will make them feel amazing. Click the link to pre-order our fall pork.
No wonder you have such a love for Doc.
Oh, I love Doc and I love Jane, and I really do because, most of my life and the thing now looking back at through that time period in my life, like people want to really, like this world really wants to crucify you for the thorns and the burdens that you carry. You know what I mean? And I had been really successful in a younger age, and you know what I mean? And I think in a lot of ways, like, I'm not saying people were jealous of that, but people of the world, they really they liked the fact that I had a drug problem. You know what I mean? And like even a lot of Christians and a lot of people, and I'm not going to say Christians, but a lot of people that go to church or a lot of religious people or a lot of those type people then, like, they wanted to act like they wanted to help you, but they really wanted to know your problem so then they could turn around and use it against you or tell everybody in the community. And I really got a bitterness in my heart about a lot of things with religion at that point.
Oh yeah, and there's a lot of kids that are raised Christian that find that hypocrisy later, and it does unfortunately turn them away.
Right. I mean, and I'm a Christian. You know what I mean? Jesus Christ died for my sins, and I've always believed that. But a lot of that religious stuff that's not Christianity, you know what I mean? It really burnt me. I mean, I had a lot of anger in my heart really towards that because I seen.
Were there a few people that were particularly like stuck out, like Tom is so and so?
Oh, a little bit, but not really. And maybe I just kind of had a bitter taste in my mouth because of a few of those people. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But like, it really bothers me. Like the thing that I learned most about, like with Doc was, through it all. And even like now at this point in my life, like you can love somebody to change, but you can't force them or hate them to change anything. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. An intervention is very unlikely to work, is it?
Yes, it doesn't. I mean, because, and that's one of my main things like that I've learned about that. You know what I mean? Like the thing I look at it most about like my life and Jesus' life and what I take out of the Bible and all that stuff is, Jesus, his main walk on this deals with loving people. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It was just loving people.
One of the best sermons I ever heard, we had a visiting preacher. It was Matt Button's son. His name is Ben. And when he was done, he just kept saying, so-and-so cut me off and I was mad. But then I looked at it and I said, well, that person was made in the image of God and Jesus died for his sins and I'm supposed to love him.
Yeah.
So those were the three things that in that message. And he probably preached it 3 years ago. And that's one of my favorite sermons of all times. And
yes.
It's true. No matter how much someone hurts you, no matter how much you dislike somebody's action, they were made in the image of God, and Jesus died for their sins, and we're supposed to love them.
Yeah, we're supposed to love them. And it's not easy sometimes.
Oh, my gosh. But all of my favorite people are human.
Oh, yeah, they are. I mean, most of mine are, I think. Yeah. I'm just trying to think my dog, that's not human. So, yeah, you're right. About all mine are. But, so rolling along through there, and then, as we get back to it, like, with Doc and Jane, and that's really where my life started to change. And then, that would have been in 2008.
And did he set up any program for you? Or
no, we just went to work and we just talked and like, you know what I mean? And we were just trading cattle and like.
And did you trade beer for meth?
No, not really. We both,
And he didn't trade meth for beer?
No, I quit. So I quit doing that. And then Doc, he tried to quit drinking, but that didn't last very long. So then, he would try to hide it from me, but that didn't work either. So then eventually we went back to drinking and then we both drank a little bit, but
you were able to get off through that?
Yes, through that.
And so 2008, so you're 17 years sober?
Yeah.
That's amazing, huh?
Yeah.
And you didn't have to go to like a structured rehab. You didn't.
So I actually went to rehab like several times, and
Prior to this.
prior to this, back through that time period. You know what I mean? I went through that stuff, and no, I ain't been 17. Like it still was like I still had my moments and my struggles for the next. I mean, for a while. You know what I
Okay.
mean? With it.
Do you still crave it?
No, not
Okay.
anymore. Not at all. Like I don't crave it at all, but like it was a struggle. You know what I mean? It really was. And it was just because you just do something for so long, like, you know what I mean? It just becomes a way of life. But no, I mean, I'm clean and sober, but it was a struggle for my life. It was a struggle for a long time.
Now, when did you and Tia get together?
So that's what, in 2008, like going through that period, like that's when I met Tia. So my ride or die, my best friend, best thing ever happened to me in the whole wide world would have happened in 2009 in May. And that's Tia. That's when I met my wife now. And that's, we've been married since 2010. And that's been the best thing ever happened to me.
Yes. Well, she is an amazing woman.
Yes.
And really sweet. I mean, super sweet.
Oh yeah. Super sweet. Unless you don't need to be. If she needs to be mean, she can be mean.
Well, luckily I haven't seen that. And I don't think Cody has either. He talked about how nice she is. so-
Right. Yeah.
All right. So, how long did you stay with Doc?
Oh, till it was like 2000, maybe a year, and then I met Tia. So maybe it was 2000. I'm getting them years. You know what I mean? For a year or so, and then I met Tia, and then I was still living with Doc, and then me and Tia got we got married, and then we moved, and then that all came about.
And were
So,
your dad and you patched it up by then?
yeah, we'd patched it back up. I'd been back working at the sale barn. I was back auctioneering and helping my dad, and we'd patched all that up.
And did you learn auctioneering from just growing up in that, or did you go to school?
Actually, so I went to school when I was I think I was 16.
Oh, wow. So you've been doing this a long
Yeah, I
time.
went to school when I was 16 to Mason City, Iowa. Yep. So I went up there and went for a little while.
And would you say that's your job now? Are you an auctioneer?
No, yeah. I mean, that's what I do
That's
every
your
Monday.
that's your main living?
Yeah. I
Okay.
guess pretty well. I mean, it's part of my main living.
Right, because you
between-
got 10 things going on. Huh?
Yeah, between the cattle, the sale barn, the auctioneering, like I got a lot going on in my life. But it's one piece of me.
Is Tia from here?
Tia is from Crane. Yes, she's from Crane, Missouri.
All right. And you guys have been married, I guess it's 15 years,
Yeah,
16 years.
16 years.
Wow.
Be December, I think it'll be 17. Is that right?
I don't know, but she's going to be watching this probably.
Yeah. No, it'll be maybe 16 years. We've been together for 17. We've been married 16. So yeah.
Very cool. And did you ever go to like AA, or do you have a sponsor or anything like that?
No, I mean, I went to some of that stuff, but I don't have a
wasn't your
sponsor.
route.
It wasn't my route, really.
Okay. And do you go to church now?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. And you go to the Risen Ranch?
No, I go to College Heights.
College Heights. Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Garris.
Yep.
Yeah, I understand. That's a really wonderful place.
Yeah, it is.
Big church, huh?
Yeah, it's a big church. Big church. But yeah, that's where we go to church at. So
And do you rope anymore?
team rope, some.
So you got old enough
I
to do
finally
that?
got old enough I can team rope a little bit
Do
now.
you get to tie hard and fast, or not
No.
that old yet?
But I'm not that old, but really after my heart surgery, they told me that I might be able to get a permit or an exemption where I'd be able to tie on this winter. So I'm excited about that. Yeah.
All right. So, okay. So this has been an interesting start, but then we got some health problems.
Oh yeah.
So what happened?
So I guess it'd been 2 years ago. 2 years ago in January, we were in Arizona and I just wasn't feeling good. Actually, we weren't in Arizona yet. We're here, but so I wasn't feeling good. And so I just kept telling Tia, like, I don't feel good. You know what I mean? So I kept going to the doctors here and they kept doing my blood work and they would say, I mean, you're good. You know what I mean? We can't find nothing wrong with you. And so that went on for a while. And then, so I, one day when we were going to Arizona, we were in Arizona, we went out there and we were going to rope for a week. I told Tia, I said, I'm just not feeling good. Like, I want to go somewhere. You know what I mean? So Mayo Clinic is just like 10 miles from where we were at. So we load up, we go to the emergency room, and same deal. They go through all my vitals, do all my blood work, do all that stuff. And they're like, we can't find nothing wrong with you. I'm like, look,
And so when you say you just don't feel good, like, did you have a fever or just?
no, just kind of
achy?
draggy, just like my body. Like, I'm always real full of energy and like I'm always but I was just I just knew something was wrong with my body. You know what I mean? Like, I knew something was going on. And, I mean, that's really all there was to it, but nobody could find anything. So after we go down there and we go to and they run me through their rigmarole at Mayo Clinic, then they're like, we can't find nothing wrong with you either. And I'm like, and that doctor, before she left the room, she was like, well, is there anything else on you? like your body or anything like, I mean, is anything on you that I'm missing? And I go, well, so the weekend before that, me and Skylar and a couple of other of our buddies, we got to drink a little bit and we decided we were going to shoot dog some steers. So we, you know, and those little steers horns, you know, we were shoot dogging and I had a bunch of bruises all over my belly. And she was like, I don't think this has anything to do with it, but let's do a CT scan of your abdomen and see what's going on. So they do one and she comes back in and she's like, well, and she just kept rubbing my foot. Like the first time somebody tells you that you have cancer, like you won't forget it. You know what I mean? Like this moment it gets all over you.
So,
That
so
C
you're,
word.
you're laying in bed.
Yeah, I'm laying in
She's
bed.
just rubbing your foot.
And this doctor comes back in and she just keeps rubbing my foot like she don't want to tell me something. Well, you know,
Oh,
I go,
man.
had the CT scan.
and is Tia there with you?
Yeah, and Tia's there with me, and she goes, well, you have a mass in your bladder, a cancerous
Wow.
mass in your bladder. And she goes, you know, and we're going to get you into our urologist out here. But, you know, and she just really hate to tell me the story, you know. So anyway, so I found out that, and this would have been like on January 9th, 2 years ago. So what, in 23 is when I found that out. So I went through that process, went to urologist.
How long after they found it did they take care of you?
So they found it on a Tuesday. I met with the urologist on that Thursday. The following Monday,
So
They
they
w-
were in a hurry.
they went in and they resected that they took it out the first time. And then so I went through that for then 2 weeks later. Then after they did do that, then they went back in because they thought they missed a little bit of it. So they went back in again and took some more of it out. And luckily, I mean, so far everything's been good.
And you have no problems remaining from that.
No.
Like you pee normal and you,
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, and it's amazing because, like, you know, and what's so weird about all those conversations, and when somebody tells you got cancer, like, and like even the doctors were like, you know, we think it's probably through your bladder wall, and we think, you know what I mean, like, you know, you want to take your bladder out, like, you know, that's an option, or we can start you on this chemo and radiation, and like, you know, they're giving me all these options, and I'm like, I mean, I don't know,
Yeah, of course.
I don't know,
Yeah.
like I've never had a problem making a decision in my life, like I've always made them. I can make one right now, whether it's good or bad. I'll make a decision,
Right.
you know. And like me and Tia are talking about all this stuff, and you're just like overwhelmed with all these decisions and what to do. And so they got this stuff. It's an immunotherapy. It's called BCG treatment, where they go in. They wanted to put me on. They wanted to put me on a what do you call that? A trial, like a cancer
Okay.
trial.
All right. So
it was
you
like it was
be,
Sunrise,
experimental.
huh?
It would be experimental.
Yeah. And they were going to, you know, and they were wanting to put me on that. And I just kept, and, you know, me and Tia just kept praying about it. And I was just like, I just don't feel like, and I'd went in and already talked to him about this trial. And then like the day that I was supposed to go sign up with him, I just woke up that morning. I told Tia, I said, I'm not doing that. Like they got this BCG treatment, this immunotherapy. And like, I just think, I mean, you know, we'd prayed about it and I just like, I feel like that's what God wants us to do. So,
Well, you know, that's the way to make a decision.
Yeah.
Especially one like that.
yes. And, you know, and so then we went in with the BCG treatment. They were doing that. I went through it every week for 8 weeks. They go directly into my bladder with a catheter. They put this medicine in. I have to leave it in for an hour, and then you pee it out, and then you feel like you got the flu for 48 hours, and it's just kind of,
And did you lose your hair and all that? Through
No,
that? So
really
it's
did.
not, It's not really like a chemo then.
no, it's just a immunotherapy where they go in and it triggers that stuff that they put in me. It was like a live tuberculosis. And it triggers the same immune response to fight that cancer back off.
Wow.
And it worked perfect. You know what I mean? Like I've had no more regrowth that didn't make it through my bladder wall. Like,
What a blessing, huh?
oh, a great blessing.
Man.
Like God just took care of me, you know, and made those decisions.
Do you have to do anything now as far as diet or anything like that for that?
Not really.
You're just normal.
I'm just normal.
Okay. And then your heart.
Yes. So then that was 2 years ago. So then I'm back out there in May and, I'm meeting with my urologist. His name's Mark Tyson. I love the guy.
Of 2025.
Yes, just
Okay.
this May. And his name's Mark Tyson. He's my urologist from out there at Mayo. Me and him are the same age. Really like the guy. And so we're sitting there and we're just talking about it. Like, man, I just can't believe how good this cancers went. Like you've responded to this treatment. Like it's just a blessing. Like he's a Christian. We talk about it like it's a blessing. God this is all working. And I said, I know. And I said, you know, it's been 2 years since we did a CT scan on my body. Do you think I ought to do one? And he was like, No, not really. I mean, I'm not worried about it. But he goes, "Do you want a CT scan?" I go, "Yeah, I think I want a CT scan." He said, "Well, if you want one, I'll schedule you one." So he schedules me a CT scan.
But you had no inkling, like you weren't feeling bad.
No, I wasn't feeling bad at all.
You just thought, I'm here.
I just thought I'm here and like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I just felt it in my heart again that I wanted to ask. And I told
Wow.
Tia before we went, I said, like, I want him to do a CT scan on me. She told me, she goes, well, just ask for it. You know what I mean? They'll get you one. And so I did when I went in,
I'll
not
be damned.
thinking I had anything wrong with me. I mean, I'm feeling great. Like I'm working out today. I've lost 25 pounds. Like I'm in the best, like honestly shape that I'd been in 30 years.
Wow.
You know, I mean, I was feeling great, like invincible.
So when you were working out, like cardio wasn't
Yeah.
making you pass out or nothing.
No.
Okay.
I mean, I would get a little bit like, I was getting a little bit like tired, but but I was running on the treadmill for 30 minutes, between 20 and 30 minutes, every day. And so anyways, I go in for this CT scan and they're like, well, you got some nodules in your lungs. And I'm like, I got what? And they're like,
Now, were you ever a smoker?
no,
Okay.
never smoked. I chew, but I never smoked. And so I go back in, I see Tyson, I'm like, what do you think? And he's like, well, I don't know. I don't think it's anything. He said, look, I'm 99% sure this is my urologist. He goes, I've never seen cancer go from your bladder to your lungs. Like if it was metastatic cancer, like it would go through your lymph nodes, and then to your lungs. He said, I'm 99.9% sure it's not cancer, but he goes, if you would feel better about getting into a pulmonary specialist, I'll schedule you one. And I go, yeah, I think I would. Just go ahead and schedule me one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he gets me into a pulmonary specialist. They want to go in, so they go in to do they do a dedicated chest and dedicated heart CT scan on me
Okay.
for her so she can see it better. So anyway, she gets to looking at it. I go in to meet with her. This is on a Thursday afternoon at like noon is my appointment with her. I go in, I meet with her, and she was like, well, let's just go do this procedure. They went down my throat, knocked me out, took biopsies of all my lymph nodes and the nodules in my lungs. And then that next morning, I'm leaving Arizona, coming back home. And she calls me. She's like, look, I'm not worried about your lungs. Like, not worried about your lungs at all. Like, you've got something in there. It's valley fever, but like your body's already, it's not cancer, so don't worry about it. But she goes, I'm sitting here.
Valley fever?
Yeah.
What is that?
So valley fever is a fungus that's from the Southwest. Like it gets in kind of more the desert climates. And like it's a fungus that gets in the dirt. And like when it gets real dusty and windy, like a lot of people like around Phoenix and out through there have this stuff.
Okay. And so it'll give you a nodule in your lung.
Yeah, I'll give you nodules. But also I auctioneer, I breathe dust in every day off cattle. You know what I mean? Like it could be any
Lots
of
of
that
stuff.
stuff. Yeah. So this is on a Friday after I land back here in Missouri. I'm driving home from Northwest Arkansas up through there, and she calls me and she goes, look, I'm not concerned about your lungs at all. Like, but she goes, I've been sitting here looking at this CT scan of your heart. And she goes, I'm really concerned about your heart. And she's a pulmonary specialist. That's what she said. She goes, I'm not a cardiologist. I'm a pulmonary specialist, and I'm concerned about your heart. And she said, do you have a cardiologist at home? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I got one. I mean, she goes, well, how would you feel about getting into a cardiologist out here? And I'm like, okay, that's fine. Refer me. So this is like 10 o'clock on Friday morning. Within 2 hours, like at 12:30, they call me from the cardiology appointment at Mayo. And they're like, we have an appointment at 1:30 on Monday, or we don't have an appointment it was like 5 weeks later, 5 or 6
Wow.
weeks later. And I'm like, our sale's on Monday, so I really didn't want to take it. So anyways, I called my brother. I'm like, they got this appointment out there on Monday. And he goes, well, you're going to have to take it because otherwise you're not going to sleep good till you do. So I called back out there and I switched my appointment to this 1:30 on that Monday, and come home that night. I still don't feel bad. I'm still feeling good. Come home. I sold Jasper County Youth Fair on Friday night, sold Newton County on Saturday night, get right back on a plane Sunday morning. I fly back out to Mayo and meet with the cardiologist at 1:30 on Monday afternoon. And even he's not concerned about my heart. He's like, yeah, you got a lot of plaque in there, but a lot of people have plaque. You know what I mean? Like, wouldn't worry about it. So this is on 1:30 that afternoon. I go in and I do an echo on my heart at like 3 o'clock that day. My echo's perfect. All my valves are good. My heart's pumping good. So he said, and they scheduled me for a stress test that next morning on Tuesday morning. So go in, do the stress test. I something goes wrong there. So they're
So,
like,
but and you were fit, right?
yeah,
And so the stress test is they make you run with a
Yeah.
mask.
they didn't run with a mask, but they had heart monitors all over me.
Okay.
And what they did, it was, they put a dye in me where they could see
Oh,
my
right,
heart.
right.
Then I worked out for 30 minutes and they took more pictures of it. But, and on the way up, like when they're getting my heart rate up to 155, they're like, everything's
No
fine.
problem.
No problems. So when I go over there and I sit down after they do the stress test and I'm over there trying to rest, my heart won't come back down. It's, you know what I mean? And
So it's still going 155.
yeah, it won't, it's taking a long time to come back down. And so then all these girls in this room start acting weird. So then the cardiologist, they come and meet me. And anyway, so they do a heart cath on me the next morning and won't let me leave the hospital. I was 100% clogged. It was in my Widowmaker too. I was 100% clogged, 90, 90,
so
90.
why did it take that much to find it? You would think that clog would have showed up in the other test, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but it didn't. And that's what they even told me. The doctor even asked me, he said, I know you've had a heart attack. You were 100% clogged in that one. He goes,
Wow.
do you not feel bad? And I'm like, I don't know if I feel bad or, I mean, I just get up in the morning. I go no matter how I feel, and like I could tell now looking back, like I had, I was getting a little bit tireder in the afternoons and stuff, but like
No arm pain, no.
No. So I thought it was like after auctioneering, like I thought my jaws were getting really tight. Like I thought it was a T, whatever you call it, like
TMJ.
yeah,
problem.
TMJ problem. But like like all the time have to stretch my jaws. And so then that doctor was like, I told him, I said, my jaws felt tight all the time. He said, well, those nerves that connect to your heart are on the same ones as your jaw.
Wow.
But that's really the only symptom I ever had.
So what kind of surgery you have for this?
Well, so they thought they could put stents in me. So I went in to get a heart cath on Wednesday morning. I wasn't in there 10 minutes. They come back out and they're like, we're going to do open heart on you. So this is on a Wednesday.
Open heart?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So this is on a Wednesday. So they tell me that they're going to have to do open heart surgery, but they tell me we can't do it till Monday. And I'm like, and he said, you're not leaving here. Like we're worried that something's going to happen, so you can't leave here. So I stayed there till Monday. And that would have just been like July 21st of this year's when I had 4-way bypass.
And we're hitting September, so 2 months ago.
Yeah. I'm 8 weeks ago.
Well, you know what? I've rarely been convinced more that God wants somebody to be here.
Yeah.
You've got, you've had some stuff.
Yeah.
And so open heart, they cut through your chest.
Mm-hmm.
And did you have ports for draining in your belly?
Oh yeah. I had 4 ports here, and then they took, and instead of putting veins back in me, he put arteries in me. Cause he said, you're young and like you, so make sure you get plenty of blood flow. So he took 2 arteries out of my chest, took this main artery out of my arm right here, and then took a big vein out of my leg. So I got 3 arteries and then one vein.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So is that tattoo from that?
No, I've had that tattoo, and it says,
That's from Cash, right?
and this is Cash's over here, but I got that after we lost Cash, and it says, I'm not what I've done, I'm what I've overcome. And like, my brother says that I need to get and overcome down it. He said I don't have enough overcomes on it.
What a absolutely perfect saying for you, huh?
Yeah.
Man alive. Well, I've had a few of your stories secondhand, but amazing. So, all right, we brought it up now, and let's talk about Cash. What
Yeah.
happened?
So it would have been, I still get a little bit emotional when we go here.
Well,
you know what I
no,
mean?
wouldn't.
I know.
I get emotional asking about it, to be
Yeah.
honest.
And so we had Cash, me and Tia. So we got married in 2009, and she got pregnant, and so we got 2 daughters. We got Riley, which Tia had from her first marriage, and I had Kaya that I had from my first marriage, and love them. They're our girls, you know what I mean? But so in 2009, when me and Tia got married, she got pregnant, and we got Cash. He was our boy, and he was the only boy that, he's going to be the next. I'm just trying to think here. And Cash was the light of our life, you know what I mean? He was the young one. He was the wild one. He was all boy. And then in 2018, we had a 4-wheeler wreck and we lost Cash. And,
Was he driving?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, was it a full-size 4-wheeler?
no, it was like the mini Rangers,
90s?
like the 170 Rangers, like the little
So
Rangers,
side by side.
the little side by side. And,
How did it happen?
he'd rode it I mean, he probably had it 3 months or 2 months, and we were having a cookout at our house one night, and I mean, I can remember it plain as day.
I bet.
And he'd been giving people rides on it. Come on, I'm going to go for a ride. And so he went out, and we just got dinner done. And I went out and I told him, I said, Cash, dinner's ready. Come inside. We're going to pray and eat. And he goes, okay. What he said, but I want to take Michael. The boy, he said, he hasn't rode on it yet. And he said, I want to take him for a ride on it. I want to show him a buggy. And I was like, okay, one more time, but then get back in here. And they went outside, and then they were going around a corner, and it turned and flipped over on him. And he got up for a little while, and then, yeah, I mean, I can remember all the details. Really
Was Michael all right?
Yeah, Michael was fine. Kind of, I mean, he couldn't remember. It rolled him and like it hit his head. But I mean, just.
Wow. And did he die then on your place?
Yeah. So no. So then they were supposed to have the helicopter come, but they couldn't get a helicopter. So they sent an ambulance, and we were doing CPR on him, and we finally got over. We got him. The ambulance got there, and we rushed him They took him to Freeman, went in and did some surgery to try to make him stable, and then helicoptered him to to Kansas City, to the Kansas City Children's Center.
Wow.
And that's where, yep.
Man, what a thing. So you and Tia seem super strong, but I've seen so many people that have lost a child that also ends their marriage. How have you guys been able to survive this so well?
After we went through that, like at that point, like, and me and her, like, seriously, we're tight, but you just get, you know what I mean? There's never been a blame game between us. You know what I mean? Like, or anger, like, honestly, we grew stronger together. You know what I mean? And we did, we knew we had to stay strong for our daughters, for other people. And, and we just came together and grew even closer after all that. And we formed the Cashmore Foundation now, which gave us kind of, you know what I mean, to be able to give back after that tragedy. And Tia is the one that manages all that. Like, she's the one.
So what is that? Tell us about that.
So the Cashmore Foundation, we started after we lost Cash, and it's for children. It's only for children. It's a 501(c), and it's for, like, just kids in needs. Like, you know what I mean? Whether it's medical needs or family needs or, like, funeral needs for kids and stuff that can't afford to pay for that stuff. Tia gives a lot of that stuff, and she does a lot of donations, and since we lost Cash, which has been 8 years ago, like, through our foundation, we've gave $450,000 or $60,000 to kids, and it's just for kids. And really, that's kind of, you know what I mean? It gives me a sense, of peace and hope, and, like, you know what I mean, to be able to give back after you go through that. But, honestly, after we lost Cash, like, I got mad at God. I was mad at God, and I really was. And it wasn't that I ever turned away from him. Like, he was still God, you know what I mean? And I knew where he was at in my life, but I was mad at him. You know what I mean? And I would tell, like, Pastor Steve Stafford that's at Risen Ranch, and, like, we were buddies, and he'd be like, how you doing? I'd be like, I'm mad at God. You know what I mean? Like, we're good, but I'm mad at him. And he's like, well, he's a big God. He can take it. You know what I mean? And
so how did that manifest itself? Like, were you
the wise?
The what?
The wise, like, why Cash? You know what I mean?
All right.
You know what I mean? Like, why?
So you weren't, like, cussing him out and angry praying?
No.
No, okay.
No, I was just mad at him. You know what I mean? Because he didn't understand. You know what I mean? And it just took me a little bit. It just took me a little while to get over that and get through that period of my life.
That's a hard thing for everybody, is why bad things happen.
Right.
Why does it have to happen at all? And especially, why does bad things happen to good people?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was just, and seeing all that, and then you see, and then every day when you go home, and I had to be the strong one. I knew that, like, and you just feel like you're in the middle of a lake, swimming and dog paddling. You got Tia over here hanging on to your two girls, and you're just trying to survive and keep everybody's head above water, and it's just like,
Man.
It just got, I remember it pretty good, but it was a really heavy time in my life,
One of my biggest fears, and now that I got grandchildren, it's one of my it frightens me. It makes me sad thinking about the possibility. I don't know how you done it so well.
I just, through God. I mean, you know, that's just, you got to keep turning it to him and giving it to
So
him.
you went through the anger stage, and now did it bring you closer to God as well?
Oh, yes. I mean, I think all that stuff, like what I've been through and like what we've been through, me and Tia, and like what I've been through in my life and with all that stuff, like, I mean, I really, really feel like I'm really we're in a good spot in our lives and with God and with our relationships. And like, I really feel like I'm in a good spot in my life finally, you know?
And so do you feel like you have a real mission or a calling? Do you wake up and say God is pulling you anywhere?
Oh yeah. I mean, you know, me and God have these conversations a lot, you know, and we've been having a lot more of them. And like, there's more on my heart about, you know, like I'm big on helping people. Like I love helping people. You know what I mean? And so many people in this world that have so many struggles. And I just really feel like there's not many areas in life that you can come to me and you can't talk to me about that I haven't been there. You know what I mean? About everything can go through in life. Like, you know, I'm pretty well sculpted about that. And, you know, God, and, you know, I pray about it and all that. And, you know, just wherever God leads me, you know, it's like I tell him, Lord, if you want me to tell my story, I will. You know what I mean? If I can help somebody,
Which is
please
what-
send them to me.
What
Yes.
you're doing right here.
Yes, and you know, and it's just funny how he just keeps working and opening doors and bringing people to me, and like it's just funny, like all this stuff I've been going through, but like I really feel like I'm able to help people. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people, I get a lot of phone calls and have a lot of conversations about a lot of different things that, you know what I mean, that God has sent those people to me to talk to me about. You know,
That's
So,
amazing.
yeah.
So you kind of like a little bit of a therapy without the certificate.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, just cowboy therapy.
Well, you know, I've ridden on a lot of airplanes, and it seemed like every time I'd go somewhere, I'd sit next to the lady and I'd find about her husband that died 10 years ago, or I'd sit next to a guy and I'd find out about his wife cheating on him, and it was crazy. I'd get off an airplane and I'd talk to Kelly and say, "You mean he told you that story in that 2 hours?"
Yeah.
It's yeah, I don't know. It's a weird world we live in.
Yeah, you know, and it's funny because me and Tia have the same conversation. You know what I mean? To get off the plane, or just people want to talk. You know what I mean? And they can, but God just sends them to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So your foundation for cash,
Yes.
how do people help with that? Do they just get a hold of you? And
Yeah, get hold of me or Tia, or we got a Facebook page where they can go to the Community Foundation of the Ozarks and donate to it.
And what's it called again?
The Cashmore Foundation.
Cashmore Foundation.
Yep.
All right. Well, awesome. If you guys are looking for something to do with that extra money.
Absolutely, because it'll go for a good cause and to help a lot of kids.
Yeah, and you guys are not. There's not an executive at the top that's making $700,000
Nope.
a year. Yeah.
Nope, Tia should, but nope, she don't get paid nothing. If she has to listen to a lot of sad stories, she'll be like, she tries to talk to me. I'm like, maybe
Well,
you don't tell me about
Yeah.
that.
So I guess people do call and say,
Mhm.
"Hey, you know, this happened," and
Yeah.
that's how you decide who to help.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Through friends and this and that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, I thank you for sharing that, but
Yeah.
we ought to talk a little bit about pilotage, because this is called Final Approach.
Okay, let's talk about
So you're a pilot,
it. Yes and no. Yes.
and how does that work?
Well, so like I've been flying, really, I started flying probably when I flew my whole life, even when I was in my teens. Like I had some buddies had Barons or like 421s, like when we would go places and fly with them. But so then really like in probably, I'm trying to think, I don't even know what year it'd be. I'd be lying to you. Maybe 2001 or 2002. I was living in Florida and working at the airport and like started taking pilot's license, get my pilot's license. And
What were you doing at the airport? I don't know that story.
well, it was during my sabbatical, like when I was needing to get out, maybe trying to do a little bit better, and I just kind of left for a little while.
And Florida was the answer?
Yeah, Florida was the answer. I mean, it was nice down there, you know what I mean? So I thought I'd go to Florida for a
And
while.
were you working at an FBO or like
Yeah, I was working at FBO,
doing what?
just fueling airplanes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Which airport?
Venice.
Venice. Okay.
Yeah. Same place that the terrorist train that flew into 9/11. Same airport.
Oh my gosh. And you decided to get a pilot's license?
I decided I'll start flying.
Is it cheap because you're working there?
No, a little bit maybe. Yeah, I could kind of get discount on the plane and stuff. Yeah.
You hook up with an instructor and start going.
Yeah, and so the instructor was about my age too, and he was about halfway wild too. But so yeah, we start flying, and like and I get like I got like then I probably had 50 hours flying. Well, honestly, so then like the day before I was supposed to go take my written test, my grandma gets really sick up here, and so I leave Florida, come back up here, and I just never went back and I never went back. And then I went back and finished my ground and took my check ride.
Oh,
So that was my first part of flying.
okay.
And then as it just went on, then I guess probably, I don't know, it's probably been 3 years ago. I decided, well, I think I want to start flying again. And like, and I fly a lot, like anyways, like Jared Bartosh, he's a really good friend of mine. He flies and we got planes and he flies for us and like, but so anyways, I'm like, oh, Jared, I think I want to buy a plane and go back to flying. He's like, oh yeah, you got to get your pilot's license. You got to get your pilot's license.
So
you got,
is this during COVID?
this would have been right after COVID.
Right after, okay.
Yeah, right after
Because
COVID.
planes went, like they doubled in price
Yes.
during COVID.
Yes.
So if you could have just bought it in 2019.
Yeah, it would have been perfect. And I actually got really lucky because when I did buy it and I sold it, I did make money. So
Everybody does.
it's crazy.
It's not quite as good as cattle are right now.
No. But it was amazing. I didn't think there was any way in the world I was going to be able to sell that plane to make money. So we look around. He's like, well, let's get one with glass and let's, you know what I mean? So we find a SP 172. It's
What
all
year?
black. It was 2012.
Oh, so it did have a Garmin 1000?
Yeah, I had a Garmin 1000 in it, and it only had 400 hours on it.
Oh my gosh, what
So
a plane.
Yeah, it was like brand new. And I was like, man, Jared, I just don't want to spend that much money. And he just and finally he calmed me into it. And so anyways, we buy the plane. And my wife, she's like, I can't believe you gave that much for an airplane. And I couldn't either. So then I start flying, and Jason Flynn, a guy that was also flying some of our planes for us, and he was also instructing. So like I kept it at Monette, and like, so then at Joplin, at first I kept it at Joplin, and then I moved it to Monette. But like then I just started flying all the time again. And I probably flew it I mean, I don't know, 100 and 200 hours, you know what I mean? Like around here.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I still never went and I never took my written, or I
Well-
never took my check ride.
Well, why don't you do that?
I don't know why. I just never, and like, when I fly with Jared, like honestly, like, I mean, we probably fly I probably fly 20 or 30 hours, you know what I mean, or 40 hours a year in them other planes. And like Jared, I co-pilot for him, and we got a Citation
Yeah,
5.
so you have 4 flight and you understand all of that.
And I can run 4 flight. I can do everything. Like I can set up everything you want to on the G1000s or whatever. But like, I just never went and took my written.
Man, well, you should do that.
I probably should.
Yeah, because there's a lot of guys out there that just don't have that opportunity, and it would, that would be it'd be one more thing to put in your quiver.
Oh yeah, to put in my equipment. I mean, and I'm just, Jared was like, why don't you go take it? I'm like, well, I don't really feel like I need to. Like I can fly this thing.
Well, there is that.
Yeah.
Until the FAA inspector
Yeah.
ranch checks you.
Yeah, I know. They'll probably watch this now, so I better not be flying without my license anymore.
Did you find any part of flying difficult?
I mean, like honestly, like once you get the hang, I mean, as always, the flare when you go to land would have been but once you get that figured out in each one, you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
even like,
landing was the only thing that was hard for me.
yes,
Taking off is really easy.
Yes.
They want to fly.
yes,
And then, but I'm going for my commercial now. And
okay,
I'm working toward that. And so I'm doing a few of those like lazy 8s and
yeah,
turns about a point, or actually they're pylons, 8 on pylons, and chandelles are pretty easy. But there's a lot more maneuvers that I'm learning. During instruments, I thought, oh wow, I've learned so much, and now I'm doing these next maneuvers, and I'm like, wow, there's so much I don't know. And so I don't know. I'm kind of old, 57,
right.
to be chasing after stuff like that. But
Oh, that's perfect time though. I mean, there's never a better time. You finally got time to do it.
well, I really don't. But,
Right.
but it's like everything. You prioritize and make time.
That's right. You'll make time if you want to do it.
With all the health stuff that you've had, what do you do about your health now? Do you have any kind of regimen that keeps you because you're energetic as anybody I ever met?
Yeah. Oh, I've got a lot. So I just got released 2 weeks ago. So I'm doing cardiac rehab at Carthage at the hospital. So I get to do that.
Is that like physical therapy?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, pretty much cardio. I run on a treadmill and run on a stair stepper and like, yeah, I mean, they just kind of for my cardio.
And you're doing it with a therapist.
Yeah. They monitor me. There's
Okay.
nobody, but yeah. And I do that on Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays. And then even at home, like on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I've started lifting a few weights and like, I'm going to run in a 5K here before too long. So
Nice. Have you run a race before?
no.
So you're probably gonna win it. I bet you.
No, I'm just going to hope to try to get through it. I've never been a very good distance guy. Like I've always been real like short distance.
Well,
But,
tailback, right?
yeah, tailback. I'm good at 40 yards. I don't know if I'll be good at 3-some miles. So
Nice. When are you gonna do that?
I don't know. I told everybody I was going to do it a year from my heart surgery, but I'm really thinking about moving it up maybe 6 months after my heart surgery.
Okay. Well, you know what you should do? You should sell miles.
Yeah.
And do that for the Cash Foundation, Cash
Yeah.
Moore Foundation.
I should. That
Yeah.
would be a good deal.
Tia, there's an idea for you.
There you go, Tia.
Okay, so do you do your diet? Anything special about that?
Not really. I've just been trying to watch what I eat, you know, like try not to eat as much red meat as I always have in my life, but just trying to eat better, more fruits, more vegetables. Just
Have you tried the cold plunge?
no, my brother does that.
Yeah,
I'm not doing that.
I do it every day.
You do?
Oh my gosh! Once you start, you'll be like, I don't know why I didn't do this first.
I hate cold. Like I would rather sweat as freeze any day of my life.
Yeah, and I feel that way too. And the first 5 days, you're like, oh no, come on, hey God, listen, I don't want to do it today. And then you force yourself to do it. And then day 6 through let's say 20,
Right?
you're like, oh, you know, it won't be that bad. And you get out and you feel so good, right? And then from day 20 on, like I can't wait to do it.
You like it?
I love it.
Yeah, that's what my brother, he does it. He's always like, you need to get one, but I don't know if I'm gonna get one or not.
You should do it.
I should, but I
Yeah.
probably won't. I hate cold. I just can't. I'm probably not gonna do it.
Do you have any inspirational sayings?
God's really always blessed me with being really positive and being upbeat, no matter how bad the situation or no matter how, I mean, my world could be falling apart around me and you'll never know. Like God's just always, I'm not depressed and I'm always positive and like, I've always upbeat and like, he's blessed me with that, you know?
Do you know why? Do you know why you feel that way? Or do you have do you wake up in the morning and decide not to think bad thoughts or?
No, I just don't think bad thoughts. Like, I mean, you know, when I lay my head down at night, I say, Lord, you know, just, I did all I could today. You know, all this other stuff you're going to have to handle and tomorrow I'll get up and do it again. And like, I love mornings. I'm a morning person. I wake up at 3:30 in the morning.
I do too.
3:30, 4 o'clock, I'm up and I'm going and I'm excited for the day.
Yep.
Like I look forward to life. I mean, I love life and I like living life and I mean, everything that comes along with life. Like, and it's just, I mean, God just kind of blessed me with that mentality, you know?
And that early morning, man, it's so valuable to me.
Yeah.
And I get so much done. And like when I travel and I can't have my routine,
Yeah.
it's tough.
It is tough. I mean, first thing in the morning, that's my time.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's the only time I got that's my time.
I answer emails. I read my Bible.
Yep.
I have my workout.
Yep.
I have my breakfast, and then I see Kelly around 7.
Yep.
And I've had 3.5 hours of.
That's how
Yeah.
I am. Absolutely.
At what time you go to bed?
Between 8:30 and 10.
Okay. Yeah, I'm usually 8:30 to 9:30.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
kind. I mean, that's kind of where I'm.
10 o'clock's a little bit late for me.
Yeah, I'm getting more and more that way.
When I was young, man, 4 hours, and I was good. Like I was golden at 4 hours till I was 30.
Yeah.
And then I started eating like more and more. And now if I get more than 7, it hurts me. But if I get between 6 and 7, I'm really good.
I'm kind of a 6-hour guy.
Okay.
That's what I like.
Well, you're 44.
Yeah.
Are your eyes still good?
Yeah. So, you know, they're getting a little bit like just the last month or two. Like I've had to notice like in the mornings, I'm going to look at my phone kind of a little bit sideways.
Yeah. I went till 47 and I was making fun of my wife, you know, 'cause
Oh, yeah.
she's at 40, she's needing them. I'm like, oh.
Oh,
then at 47, it was like I hit a wall with my eyes. That's been tough.
That's about how I am. I need to go to the eye doctor.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, Bailey, is there anything else you want to tell people?
Not really. I mean, I'm sure I'll think of 20 things as soon as we quit this conversation and get in the truck, but no, I don't think. Just stay positive, give it to God, and life will be okay.
Well, those are really great sentiments. And you've been an amazing guest and a lot of story to tell.
Yeah.
And you tell stories well. So thank you so much for your time,
Thank you,
sir.
Chris. You bet.
God bless.
Yep. God bless you.